One way to view absolute value is something that we just looked at, was looking at it from a function perspective. So what does an absolute value actually do to numbers? Okay, one way we can look at absolute value is it changes negative numbers to positive and positive numbers to positive. So it doesn't change positive numbers. A little bit more technical explanation for it is, and this is how we actually should define absolute value, is it is the distance that a number is from zero on a number line. Okay, so if we have negative numbers, there's our zero, okay, there's our boundary, and negative numbers are a certain distance from zero. Okay, although it's left, we don't give it direction, we just say it's 4 units from zero. Positive 3 is to the right, but if we take away the direction, okay, we end up with 3 is 3 units from zero. Okay, and that's what absolute value technically does. It changes it from a position of negative left to a distance of 4. Here this changes it from a position of plus 3 to a distance of 3. So we can do absolute value, apply absolute value, and absolute value works just like brackets, so we have to do the brackets first. So when we apply the absolute value to negative 8 just becomes a distance of 8. Here we have to do the operation inside the absolute value first, so this becomes negative 4 minus 8 is, positive 4 minus 8 is negative 4, and the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. Okay, so we do not do the absolute value independently of the sign. We have to do what's in the brackets first, then apply absolute value. So here as a calculation, we're going to do the calculation first. So we get negative 6 plus 8. We have to add this together first, and then we take the absolute value of 2, and 2 is 2 units from 0. So what must be done before we apply absolute value in calculation? We must do the calculation inside first. Okay, and the absolute value in a way acts like brackets. Okay, so they're just like brackets. We have to do the inside first, then apply the absolute value. So these are calculations, so we want to make sure that we can do calculations. So we're going to do the inside first. Okay, so we follow BEDMAS inside the brackets. Okay, so negative 9 plus 6 is going to give us negative 3. Again, as we're doing this, it's really important, okay, and this is important since grade 8, that you have to make sure that you show your calculations vertically. Okay, so if we didn't use a negative 9, minus 9, we have to show that in every step, and we have to be able to trace that vertically. So we're going to apply the absolute value first, then now we're outside the absolute value, so now we can subtract, and we end up with value of negative 6. When we have more than one absolute value sets, we have to make sure we understand how they're paired. Okay, so the first absolute value pairs with this one. The second absolute value pairs with this one. Sometimes we have embedded absolute values. Okay, so they would be drawn a little bit longer. So we might have 2 sets of absolute values like this. Okay, and the outside ones would then be drawn bigger. These do not pair, so this minus doesn't become a positive because it's in between 2 absolute values, because they're not paired.